Hello. It's been a bit. How long? 2 months? Since I last streamed? Yeah. I was going to stream a lot sooner, but, well, I think, like, when I was gonna stream the last time, my subscription happened. Yippee. And then I got sick. I think, I don't know, I was sneezing and coughing like crazy. It's great. It's fantastic. I was gonna put like a text box thing. It's like, chat, we are so back. I want to get done with this game by, there's a cat screaming at me, before the year ends. Because we are so close. We are on the 4th. Wait. Yeah. We're on the 4th game. Or not 4th. We're on the 4th case of the 2nd game of the Great Ace Attorney. I want to get this done before the year ends, so I can just be at peace with this. Let me switch things over. Yay! Let me get a studio mode real quick so I can see. Yeah, this is very impromptu, out of nowhere stream. My apologies, that's just how things go. But I have some like free time and whatnot now. So yeah, I'm gonna try to stream this before the year ends. I'm so scared because I got to voice these characters and whatnot. I don't even know where we left off. I think we got done with a case. I think we made Mr. Vigil, basically had PTSD. or at least reliving his PTSD. That's what happened. We made a man, freaking, go to the hospital. So that's great. I forgot to end like what is this? Oh, I know what see, I have some of these images saved, but I don't know what they do. Or not what they do, what they are. What's this one? What's this one? I forgot some of these images saved. I don't even know why I have this. Where did I get this? Oh wait, I was trying to look up it was like a GIF or something. I think I saved it. But we edited the picture so it looked like this. That's not what, so. Oh, and the other thing, but I'll show it in a bit. In a second. Words. I remember I had this image like for a while. Like, guys, look! Look, it's the whole gang! Like, this is totally the picture that they took. 100%. Yeah, Gregson was there. It's all great. It's all good. Christmas present. Ryunosuke looking like a reindeer. It's all happy fun times. Merry Christmas. Just because it's Christmas. Wait. Almost Christmas doesn't... What was the whole quote, frick? I'm a fake Ace Attorney fan. I'm fake. I'm fake as heck. Okay. Before we start, I'm like stalling because I'm just so nervous. There was this one image I was trying to find for the longest time. And I found it, and I wish I knew who drew this, who did this doodle. But I was trying to reverse image search, and I couldn't find the person that made this. I don't know if you guys can. I'm gonna like just try my best. Yeah, okay, there we go. I can't read. I have to move it to the monitor. This image kills me. Like, this lives rent-free in my head. Like, wait, can I just... I can still move it up. I'll just, like... Oh goodness, it's a cat. Cat's trying to get me. Cat wants to stop me about talking about Clavier Gavin in Fortnite. Totally real, guys. Okay, I am back. We are so back. I kept looking at my other monitor. I'm like, wait, why isn't it moving? And I'm like, oh, wait. Yeah. Fortnite leaks, guys. Like, Clavier's gonna be in Fortnite. See, like... At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if he somehow got into Fortnite or anything. I mean, we had, like, what, the collaboration with the investigations and Among Us. And with Fortnite's collaboration stuff, is like, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Clavier Gavin emo. Either he's doing his point here, or his guitar gets set on fire. Those would be the emotes. Okay. Let me check on some things. Let me check. We good? I'm gonna wait. Hold on, I need to post this and like. Okay. Yippee! Alright. Is it load game? Oh, where the frick are we? Okay, yeah, we're part 2 with the investigations. Yeah? I hope. Yeah, okay, this looks about right. Oh, it's Sato's outfit! I love their outfits so much. I still can't quite believe what just happened. I need context, please. Like, I know. I inquired with the bailiff after the court session was adjourned, and it seems Mr. Vigil was taken to hospital to recover. Okay, yeah. There we go. Right. 10 years ago now, Mr. Vigil attempted to commit suicide by jumping out of the window of the prison governor's office. I forgot about that. But ever since then, he's completely blocked the memory of those events from his mind. Nobody knew his secret. Not his family, not even the man himself. But I forced it out into the open. Was it wrong of me to do that? Did I overstep the mark, I wonder? What? Bruno! Oh, Iris. You were miles away! Anyway, I've brewed a fresh pot of soothing tea for you. I have to do her voice. Hello. Oh, thank you. You and Susie have had an exhausting day so far, haven't you? Oh. Thank you, Iris. How thoughtful of you. Do you happen to know where Mr. Sholmes is? When we came out of the courtroom back into the defendant's antechamber, he disappeared. Oh, no, I don't know. He just suddenly sprang to his feet and left. All he said was, I must leave. I wonder if he's pursuing the mystery of Inspector Grexon's death. Well, you know what Hurley's always saying, don't you? There are mysteries in this world that should perhaps never be solved. For the construction of a solution comes only at the expense of the destruction of something else. What the frick kind of, like, wise words Sholmes bringing to the table? Hello! Hello. What does that mean? He knows very well that when you open someone else's old wounds, you often open your own too. But he just can't take his own advice and leave well alone. Solving mysteries is too important to him. Oh my goodness, my throat, I can't. And that's so true. But that's what I like about Hurley. After all. I suppose that's the lot of a great detective in some ways. So then, let's have tea, and then I'll give you a hand. Oh, do you have the time, Iris? Yes, I finished this month's manuscript at last, with barely a day to spare before the deadline. Oh, I'm so looking forward to it. A brand new story to read in the adventures of Sherlock Holmes. You know, I always hide Hurley's violin in the days before I have a deadline. You do? Poor Mr. Sholmes. I'm sure that's very wise, Iris. How sensible of you. Now then, my dear fellows, let's make a plan of action before we continue our investigation. She is precious. She is baby. She is little bean. Anything new about... No. Oh. Yep, Sholmes is just clean and gone. Okay, oh! I'm gonna hate myself for having to do this, but here we go. Iris, have a look at this. That's not right. I thought you were supposed to say objection or the like when you present evidence. Oh wait, no, that's not it. Wait, no, it's the other thing. No, it's another thing. I'm like... No, that's only in court. That's not fair. If you won't say it, then I won't look.
Objection!
Yay! That was great! Right, next! Alright, I get the message. Someone's not in the mood for looking at things. No, it's, was it this? There was something I remember showing the Iris.
Objection!
And... I felt so bad. Wait, no, I think... You wanna look at this? Iris, about this. I hate myself! Iris! Oh no, what was I thinking? Why not did I show her that? Poor Grexy. I'm gonna cry! Like, I think it's like anything of Gregson's you showed her, she's just gonna be upset. And I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Iris! I don't remember why I saved this one. I can't remember. I'm just gonna like just save stuff there. Okay, this morning's trial. We need... So, how did it go in court this morning? Well, we still don't know the truth about what really happened, but one thing's increasingly clear. Lord Von Zeeks definitely didn't do it. Oh, goody! Yes, that's right. We managed to uncover several new facts as well. Oh, really? Oh my god, my throat. And there was another development too. Kazuma. Yes, it's quite clear now that Kazuma-sama is not himself. The way he's acting, it's almost as if he's possessed. I know. I mean, at the end of the proceedings earlier, he was like a bloodhound the way he was chasing down Mr. Vigil's forgotten past. He's not normally so mercilessly persistent. What's going on in his head, I wonder? I really need to sit down with Kazuma and try to understand what he's going through. If Gregson was really murdered the day before his body was discovered, then Lord Von Zieks has to be innocent, you see. What? The day before? Well, that should be easy enough to work out, just by examining the corpse, surely. Yes, you would expect so, but curiously, no time of death was included in the autopsy report. That is curious. There are still unanswered questions about Lord Von Zieks, though, aren't there? Do you mean... what was he doing there on Fresno Street that day in the first place? Well, according to the man's testimony, he said he was investigating Inspector Gregson, didn't he? And it turns out that little room was actually the inspector's secret office. Oh, that sounds like it has all the makings of a wonderfully devilish plot. But then, why was that notice board in there so they're covered in all of those particular papers? Papers about cases with a link to the Reaper. I'm starting to get a bad feeling about all this. Oh dear, that sounds more like something horribly devilish. We must start by looking into Inspector Gregson's movements of late. I never imagined I might have to be investigating an inspector's movements. Well, according to an entry in his diary, he was carrying out an incognito investigation of the Red-Headed League the day before his death. Oh, you mean he was doing the same as Hurley? Well, Mr. Sholmes was trying to apply, whereas the inspector was supposed to be investigating. I do wish it had been the other way around. Anyway, as it turns out, the inspector who went to investigate the Red-Headed League that day wasn't actually Gregson at all. It was Mr. Vigil, in possession of Gregson's identification. You know what that sounds like to me? Establishing an alibi. Oh my, yes, you're absolutely right, Iris. But why would Gregson need an alibi? It would appear that the inspector had something to do with that he wished to keep secret. I don't believe it. I always thought he was just a harmless lover of fish and chips. But perhaps they were seasoned with something a little more potent than salt and vinegar. I think perhaps we should try to move away from food analogies. Well, anyway, if Lord Von Zieks felt the need to investigate Gregson... Yes, I agree. We must try to find out what he knows. Vigil, you say? Isn't that the name of the lady who came to visit Hurley yesterday? That's right. To ask Mr. Sholmes if he would help her to find her missing husband. Only Mr. Sholmes completely passed the buck to us. Actually, didn't you say that Mr. Vigil had been taken to hospital? Do you know which one? Ah, it's Saint Sinners. I know it's supposed to be Signers or something, but I like to say Sinners. I'm starting to wonder if all the other hospitals in London have closed down. But that's amazing, Bruno! You found the lady's husband already! Well, I suppose I have. By accident. By coincidence. And 10 years ago, while Mr. Vigil was the chief warder at the prison, he was responsible for overseeing the professor's incarceration. No! So, when the convict escaped, he was held responsible and immediately dismissed. Sometimes I really don't want to grow up. It's a cruel world out there, Iris. There's more. For 10 years after that, while he was ostensibly working as a peddler, he also had another secret job. He was paid by Gregson to be his stand-in, to impersonate the inspector. To impersonate Grexy? But why? I have absolutely no idea. Ginny was right. I'm starting to think all adults are up to no good now. Including you! What the? I haven't paid anyone to impersonate me. That means he has ties to the professor and to Inspector Gregson, though. So I do think we ought to pay a visit to Mr. Vigil, don't you? Back to Saint Sinners, then. Well, I think it's clear that what we need to do, isn't it? Let us investigate, my dear fellows. Oh, Iris, you're even more enthusiastic than usual today. If anyone has anything to hide, my special Wilson shooting iron will soon set them straight. What the fudge does that do? That water pistol. It's stuffed full of piping hot X's special blend of mine. She's going to scald you to death. And I'm quite sure it'll be very effective. I'd better be careful not to hide anything. Well, it feels a little strange that Mr. Sholmes is nowhere to be seen, but still, let's go and see what we can find out. Yes! I love her music so much. It's... Okay, hold on. Let me... Oh wait, I need to like look up an achievement thing because I need to get that. Hold up. I just don't remember what achievement it is. Okay. It's not until like wait, is it? Wait, hold up. Oh wait, no, I want to show this other achievement. Cause, I just have to remember. Okay. Ah, dang, is everything out? Ah, frick. Oh, wait, okay, this Mr. Vigil's hospital bed. Let's go see the Lord Chief Justice real quick. Mother fricker! There. No arguments, Prosecutor Sogi. You will continue with the trial exactly as I instructed. Is that clear? Perfectly. It's Kazuma-sama. Defying Lord Strongheart by the sound of it. He never did know when to back down. Ah, frick. On your way now, Sogi. My lord. Kazuma. He left without saying a word. Yes? What are you doing here? I was just hoping to ask you a few questions, if you wouldn't mind. I wanted Von Zeke's trial concluded today. But Prosecutor Sogi's unwelcome inquiries are going to make it take longer than necessary. Unwelcome inquiries? Inquiries? As a result, I'm losing even more precious time. Currently 2 hours, 55 minutes and 41 seconds. 42, 43. Then we must resolve everything before 3 hours have passed, Mr. Naruhodo. In the miraculous not even 5 minutes? Anyway, I can't let the man's obvious bad mood put me off. I need information. Tell me what you know, even though I hate you. Does Prosecutor Sogi believe that Lord Von Zeeks is the Reaper? I wouldn't know. It was 10 years ago, in that fateful close trial, that Lord Von Zeeks made a name for himself among the judiciary. But the next trial he fought, he lost. It meant the ringleader of a criminal organization was acquitted, thanks to all the jurors being under duress. But that's awful. The man's freedom was short-lived. He lasted just 3 days. Yes, let me see. He died in a rockslide at his place of work, I believe. A freak accident, okay. Or was it? Correct. That was the inauguration of the Reaper of the Bailey. And people believed Lord Von Zeeks was responsible. He was brought to the trial himself, but it was shown to have been an accident. How? I love like a rock slide had happened and they're like, oh yes, it's this aristocrat freaking stuff up and killing people. So he must have had a solid alibi then. Nevertheless, the mysterious deaths continued. In total, 16 persons perished in unusual circumstances, ostensibly at the hand of the Reaper. That's a long run of coincidences. Well, the Reaper's true identity may well be revealed by this trial. And the impact that revelation would have on the British public cannot be understated. Is that why it's a closed trial? Precisely. This country hasn't seen a closed trial for 10 years. So the last one was the professors, the trial of Genshin Nasogi. Correct. Actually, we heard that originally. You were going to prosecute that trial yourself, Lord Strongheart. Von Zeeks entreated me to relinquish the prosecution to him, that he might avenge his brother's death. And here we are, 10 years later, with the son of the man Von Zeeks had condemned, now looking to avenge his father's death in the same way. They do say that what goes around comes around. However, it would seem that the new young prosecutor is harboring some ulterior motive as well. Kazuma is. I like my organization to run smoothly in the exact manner I prescribe. As with the giant clock in here, I won't tolerate a single cog being out of step with the others. Ah, so that's what all these gears are about in here. If the young man refuses to mesh with the other parts of my great machine, I will be forced to take steps. You're the one that decided, like, hey, let's have, like, a foreign, like, person that lost their memories just, like, what, 5 days ago? Be a prosecutor for this trial. Yeah, that sounds great. Especially in a closed court, which this is very serious, apparently. What do you mean? Not something with which you need to concern yourself. He's going to kill him. In any case, all your questions will be answered tomorrow. Frick you. Now, I shall have to ask you to excuse me. As of this moment, I've been delayed from attending my next meeting by precisely three hours. Oh my, that is a long time. And I hold you entirely responsible. Even though we miraculously managed to fit everything into not even 5 minutes. I wonder if you might agree to us some talking with Prosecutor Sogi. Discussions between the defense and the prosecution outside the courtroom are generally frowned upon. However, I will make an exception in this case. Now go. You can find him in his office. Oh, thank you. Let's go see him at once, Mr. Naruhodo. Kazuma's my best friend in the world, but I'm really not at all sure I know how to talk to him at the moment. Alright, holy frick, it's Clint. So, this is the office of Prosecutor Sogi now, is it? Kazuma-sama is doing well for himself. Even though he's always forced to kneel on the floor Japanese style in that dark corner. It's his habit to sit Caesar style whenever he's working. Caesar? I don't know, freaking... Well, it looks like our journey here was wasted. The prosecutor appears to be out. Perhaps we should discuss things with another prosecutor we know first. Are the bats still here? They are! Let's see, what have we here? Mr. Naruhodo. It would be very underhand to glean information from Kazuma-sama's office while he's absent. We should wait until he's here before we start nosing around. Oh, of course, yes. She doesn't take any nonsense when it comes to Kazuma, does she? Now, I want to look at the bats! Alright, okay, so... Okay, let's go talk to Zeke's then, since... What you reading now? Lord Von Zeeks is reading. Look. He doesn't seem like he wants visitors, does he? But he must have noticed that we're here, surely. What do you Nipponese want? That's no way to greet the lawyer who's trying his hardest to prove your innocence, is it? Perhaps not. I apologize. So, what can I do for you, Mr. Naruhodo? Lord Von Zeeks is speaking earnestly. Oh, the fog will lift over London for the first time in months tomorrow. This does feel very, very strange. I must say, I was impressed. Oh, well, thank you. Not by you, by your fellow Nipponese, your prosecutor friend. Oh, I see. Yes. It's sardonic, don't you think? For a man such as me, so loathing of the Nipponese, to be entirely at the mercy of the two of you. I suppose it's retribution for having played the part of the Reaper all these years. Played the part? Did I... I did show him this picture, I think. Yeah. Or did I? Trying to remember. I really love this picture so much. Actually, wait. I'm just gonna show it to him. It's that. It's just something I was hoping to ask your opinion about. That's all. It's a serious crime for the defense to attempt to extract information from the prosecution by illegal means. I think we have more of a defense and client relationship now, don't we? He doesn't say anything, like, you know what? Like, just gonna shut up. Okay. You once told me that you gladly allowed people to believe you were the Reaper, because it helped reduce the amount of serious crimes that took place in London. If keeping quiet and playing the part benefits the cause I myself am committed to pursuing, then why would I choose to say anything? But the henchman of a criminal killed by the Reaper attacked you only the other day. And that was just the most recent of many attempts on your life, wasn't it? Someone is clearly profiting from your silence about all of this. Someone is using you. Believe me, ever since the Reaper first appeared, I've been doing my utmost to expose him. Or rather, expose the organization. It's a whole organization. It's inconceivable that all those accidents were orchestrated by one man. No, the Reaper always appears to have very accurate information about the accused in each case, which can only mean that somebody at Scotland Yard is involved. Someone at... You can't mean... It's taken me many years, but I finally identified the central figure in this Reaper organization. Tobias Gregson. No! Gregson, the Reaper? So, the reason you were investigating Inspector Gregson is because you intended to expose him as the Reaper. As I said, the Reaper of the Bailey is no single person. It's a highly secret organization with close ties to Scotland Yard, but there's no doubt that Gregson was a key member of that organization. It's like the Yatagarasu, but sucky. Or whatever the freaking organization in, like, Investigations 2. I don't believe it. Are you saying that that's who's behind all those awful criminals meeting there? Gregson didn't do the dirty work himself. He was the tactician. His job was to covertly investigate the mocks and plot their assassinations. In order to do that without arousing suspicion, he regularly needed a firm alibi. Which is where Mr. Vigil came in, posing as the inspector. Vigil knows nothing of the Reaper, but the room he rented on Fresno Street was almost certainly the headquarters of the operation. Gregson would have met the assassin there before briefings, So we don't actually know who carried out the killings then. What the fudge? Actually, I do have a name. You... What? Well, if you can name the man, you have the true identity of the Reaper already then. Or, if I can name the woman... She's a young woman by the name of Asa Shin. Wait, what? Shin? Motherfucker! Miss Asa Shin, the true name of a terrifying killer I know only too well. Mother! You and your freaking swan hat. I was gonna say another thing that I'm like, no, I can't. I can't. She came to Japan posing as a visiting student and murdered Dr. John H. Wilson. Then, just when it seemed that diplomatic protection would help her escape Japan conviction, the mysterious woman was herself murdered in a small summer beach hut. And that woman was actually the Reaper of the Bailey. That's crazy. Mr. Naruhodo, this perhaps isn't the place to discuss... No, of course not. We can't mention it here. The fact that she killed Dr. John H. Wilson. Because Iris doesn't know it. No, it's very likely that the man was her father. I'm gonna cry. No, Iris, please, no. Don't question. Asa Shin, I shall let father know at once. Yes, I agree. Okay. Kazuma, isn't it? Kazuma Sogi. Oh, frick. I didn't mean to do that. You say he's a friend of yours. My best friend. He's the whole reason I got to come to Britain. It was all in his merits. I have nothing but respect for him. Yes, I understand that only the very best students are selected for such opportunities. Now I had a fine demonstration of how sharp he is in the proceedings earlier today. He missed nothing. In fact, his flawless performance very much reminded me of his father, Genshin Isogi, the professor. It's true that the aristocracy at the time was the root of numerous grave societal problems. They were abusing their power, playing with the common man as pawns in politics, in economics, in war. In many ways, Isogi was carving out a canker from society that we British couldn't deal with ourselves. I see. That's precisely why it makes no sense. Clint von Zieks was a noble and upstanding man. He wasn't corrupt. Why did that darned Nipponese have to go and take my brother's life? In spite of having once saved mine. He saved your life? How did that happen? It was 10 years ago, on a foggy night. What was to be the professor's final strike had sent a wave of panic through the capital. So Clint von Zieks had already been killed at this point then. Genshin and I were walking down some back streets at a late hour. Of course, at that point, I had no idea of the true nature of the man at my side. All of a sudden... Don't make a peep, you're coming with us! Holy frick. We were surrounded. All of our assailants were armed with pistols, the faces obscured by scarves. Clint was not only from noble heritage, he was a brilliant prosecutor as well. The scum of London hated the sight of him, and they had no sympathy for his younger brother either. So freaking... Just like hiding, like. I was about to like pop up like an image. I'm like, nope, nope. I've been targeted several times before already. Yeah, it's Von Zeke's alright. We've got him. I could hear them murmuring amongst themselves. I knew they were after me. Just when I thought my time had come. If I let them kill you, Clint would never forgive me. Like, the same, almost the same night, or like, probably day after, or whatever he said. Yeah, I'm... Like, if something were to happen, to you, yeah, frick my life, then. It was Asogi's voice, just a whisper in my ear. After that, I don't remember exactly what happened. Next thing I knew, there was silence all around. Genshin lay on the cobbled street. Blood was seeping from his left hand. He shielded me. Two days later, they arrested him on suspicion of being London's most notorious mass murderer ever, the Professor. How awful for you. All at once, I lost the brother I revered and the foreign friend I held in such high regard. I'm so sorry, Lord Von Zeeks. That's the end of my miserable tale. I never thought I'd recounted it to anyone. Well, thank you for confiding in me. The Professor, the Reaper, and Inspector Gregson. I wonder just how intimately related they all are. I still can't quite believe that Gregson was essentially the Reaper, giving assassination orders to Jessie Brett. Mr. Naruhodo, let's go and inform my father. I'm sure our government will want to hear about this new information. Oh, that means I get to meet your daddy, Susie. Hooray! Yes, alright. Let's head back to the Great Waterloo Hotel then. Let's go! Where is he at? I thought it yesterday, I think it again today. This place is so princely. It's a wild guess, but I have a feeling you'd think the same tomorrow, too. My tea has a finer fragrance than whatever they're serving in the tea room here, though, wouldn't you say? Look who we have here. This is an unexpected pleasure. Father! Oh, is this your daddy, Susie? How lovely! What a charming young lady. And you are? Really? So you're the author of the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, are you? That's me, Iris Wilson, at your service, sir. Susie's been such a wonderful friend to me over the last year, you know. Well, Miss Wilson, I must say that I read your work regularly with much interest. That's so sweet! Iris actually lives with Mr. Sholmes, you know, Father. Is that so? Well, perhaps that goes some way to explaining that bright look in your eyes. Aww. I'm just like, oh yeah, we just got such a like deep depressive backstory with Zeke's, and then here I am now, like. You wouldn't be smiling so early if you knew just how bright she is. believe me. Now then, young Naruhodo, it was a pleasure seeing you in action earlier. As an invitee to the symposium, I was glad to observe from the gallery, after I've twisted some arms. I must say, it was a truly exemplary performance. Oh, well, thank you very much. Although I'm fairly sure you omitted by Kazuma on the end there. No, please don't misunderstand. It was you who impressed me. Really? You didn't miss a step against Sogi. We all know how capable he is. Really, to have to mature into such a fine defense lawyer in less than a year is quite extraordinary. It's very kind of you to say so, and really nice to hear. Finally got a freaking bone thrown at him, God. What I saw in court today confirmed what I had been hoping for. The favor I mentioned yesterday, Naruhodo, I trust you haven't forgotten. Oh, no, you did mention something, didn't you? But first, we have something to report, Father. Of course. Shall we take tea while we discuss matters further? I wonder where Judge Jigoku has got to. Yeah, where is he? Where's that punk? Father, do you know about the so-called Reaper of the Bailey? I've heard rumors. Some members of the judiciary explained it all to me yesterday. Of course, when I was visiting students here in London, the Reaper was yet to emerge. Right, he didn't appear until after that case when the visiting students had already returned home. Lord von Zeeks, who is in the dock today. That was Beric, the young brother of Clint von Zeeks, I believe. That's right, and he's known throughout London as the Reaper, as you have heard. But the truth is, it wasn't him behind all those mysterious deaths. It was somebody else. I see. So what you're saying is, there's been a professional killer at work here. Exactly. Someone by the name of Asa Shin, in fact. I beg your pardon. Did you say Asa Shin? You mean that Jezly Brett woman who was responsible for killing my great friend? I'm gonna cry! Oh no, a friend of yours was killed! Professor McToba, I think perhaps we shouldn't discuss this right now. Because the friend that the professor is talking about is Dr. John H. Wilson. And that's not something we want Iris to find out about. Not like this, anyway. I've just remembered something. Biscuits! This hotel has the most delicious looking biscuits. That was rather out of the blue. She's doing this deliberately. I think I'll go and see if I can purchase some. I wonder, would you like to come too, Iris? Oh, yes! You just tried to leave me behind. So that young girl is called Iris Wilson, is she? Yes, that's right. And she's the author of all those adventure stories starring the great detective Sholmes. The name of the credited author isn't Iris, is it? It's Dr. John H. Wilson. Yes, I know. That's the name of her father, you see. Her father? Dr. John H. Wilson. I was deeply indebted to the man for all the kindness he showed me during my time in London. That's why I was keen to reciprocate and invite him to Imperial Yume University for 4 years ago. But he was murdered last year. by Jessie Brett. Why? Why would the hand of the Reaper stretch all the way to Japan? Iris knows nothing about that case, but it seems very likely that the victim, Dr. Wilson, was her father. Well, I can't say that we ever spoke about his family, so I don't know if he had a daughter or not. But I think I can say with some certainty that he was never the great detective's partner. So, it could have been another Dr. Wilson, you think? Sir. Well, John and Wilson are both common names, after all. Still, it's probably best not to mention this to the young lady until we can be sure. That's what we thought. Yes. We're back! With cinnamon biscuits! Oh, they smell delicious, Iris. I think cinnamon will go very well with the tea they serve here. Don't you, Susie? Yes, I'm sure you're right, Iris. I haven't seen Judge Jigoku for a while, have you? Guilty! That guilty is still ringing in my ears. No, now you mention it, haven't seen him since this morning either. I suppose since the symposium's opening was postponed, he'll have gone to explore the great exhibition. That reminds me of something you mentioned yesterday. About Judge Jigoku having once been in the dock himself. Ah yes, he was all tied up with that accursed trial. The close trial of Kazuma's father. Sashiro was trying to mitigate Genshin's guilt, so he took to the stand to testify. But he got a little carried away and, actually managed to break the witness stand. Oh my! He also has said some contemptuous words about the British Empire, for which he was charged. Oh dear. Although it's worryingly easy to imagine him doing that. Well, it was all alright in the end. He was acquitted and we returned home to Japan together. Thank goodness. Ah yes. Talking of Sashiro, I have a copy of the photograph we all took together here yesterday. Please. Oh, what a lovely picture. Holy frick, guys. What's this? Now this is the real picture. Here you go. It certainly seems to shout, we've arrived in Britain. The commemorative photograph has been entered to the court record. This is a surprise tool that will help us later. Smile. None of us had any idea what was coming when we took that, did we? No, that's so true. And the favor. So, you mentioned a favor that you'd like to ask me. Well, this fateful trial that you're fighting, one way or another, will be over before long. And when it is, I'd like you to accompany me back to Japan. You want me to do... what? Father, what is the meaning of this? Now, Sato, you should understand. You've seen how our courts work firsthand. Japan's judicial system is in its infancy, especially when it comes to defense. Oh, you mean the Supreme Court Judicature is in its desperate need of a good defense lawyer. As soon as possible. Really quite urgently, in fact. But I have not been in London a year yet. I read all of Susato's reports. I'm well aware of your extraordinary talents. And having seen you in action with my own eyes earlier today, there's no question. You, Naruhodo, are precisely the man our country needs. Holy frick, salute, man. So, you'd be leaving then, Runo? But then, what am I supposed to do, Father? You came here to serve as Hisogi's judicial assistant. Oh yes, she's supposed to be Kazuma's assistant. Our government is still in its process of deciding how to best deal with his situation, though. You've always chosen your own path, Susato, and I trust your judgment. In this matter, also. Father! Please, the pair of you, don't look so downcast. It's merely a suggestion, you understand. A hope, if I'm honest, but I won't force you. All I ask is that you consider it, and come to a decision by the time this trial concludes. Yes, alright. You won't leave, will you, Runo? I'm gonna cry! Are my things working? They do. They are working. Ah! I love her so much! She's so precious! The thought hadn't even crossed my mind. Up until now, I've just been trying to do what I believe to be Kazuma's will. But it turns out that he's still alive, so where does that leave me? I'm gonna cry. Well, if you'll excuse me now, I need to telegram government ministers and the Japanese police with this information about Asa Shin. Of course, Father. Thank you. I look forward to next month's installment, Miss Wilson. Oh, good, and please do come to Baker Street sometime, won't you? We'd love to entertain you. I would be delighted. Best of luck for tomorrow, Naruhodo. And give my suggestion your full consideration, won't you? Yes, I will. Going back home. You know, Kazuma-sama has always meant a great deal to my father. I'm sure he'd love the chance to meet with him and talk to him about all of this. Yes, no doubt. Asa Shin. Of course, it's so obvious. How could I have neglected to consider the possibility before now? Shams! You've been eavesdropping? You punk! Been eavesdropping the whole time. Mr. Sholmes, Hurley, where have you been? Why, I joined you all for tea, of course. What an extraordinary question. I didn't notice you at all. No matter. Anyway, more pressing concerns. Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, yes? I must dispatch the telegram to your country at once. It's a matter of much urgency. To Japan, you mean? Tell me, to whom can I entrust the task? Quickly now, who? Well, my father has just now left to send a telegram to the Imperial Police Bureau of Japan himself. I see. Well, he looked reliable enough for a bearded fellow. What the fudge? I don't don't think what Father sports could be considered a beard, Mr. Sholmes. There's not a moment to lose. Can't ask your trusty unshaven father to see this to sense. What the? I will, but what is it? No questions at this time, if you please, Mr. Sato. All we can do is pray. That for once, my deductions are awry. Doesn't that imply that your deductions are normally correct, Mr. Sholmes? Which isn't exactly... Now then. You may be surprised to learn that I'm a very busy man. I certainly have no time to hide behind seats and settees and eavesdrop on other people's conversations. So that's what joining us for tea meant. I leave the sending of this in your hands then, my dear fellows. What? Wait a minute, Mr. Sholmes! He just sort of ran off, didn't he? At quite a pace. And left the unpaid bill for his tea behind, too. That's like such comedic, like, yeah, okay. I must catch up with Father at the telegram office at once. And I'll run and call us a cab straight away. And there was me thinking everyone would be clamoring to pay Mr. Sholmes' bill. Well, time to vamos. Okay, well, if Susatsu's not freaking... Alright, I guess we're seeing Kazuma then. Kazuma. Goodness gracious, you yearned for him, man. I thought it wouldn't be long before you paid me a visit, Ryunosuke. I was right about what I said, wasn't I? Sorry? That you've all the makings of a great defense lawyer. Well, I always believed that you'd fulfill your dream of advocating the British courts. I just never imagined for 1 second that I would be as a prosecutor. Oh wait, Susatsu with us, never mind. Seeing you as you stare in the foreign courtroom, so gallantly realizing your dream, Kazuma-sama. I'm truly happy for you. I'm gonna cry the music! I'm truly thankful to you, Judicial Assistant Mikotoba. Ryunosuke, I always thought it would be fun for you and I to shake up the British legal system a little together. This isn't quite how I envisage it, but I suppose it's just another twist of fate. I've learned a lot of things during my time in London, but how Susato-san's father was himself a visiting student here once, along with Judge Jugoku. But what happened with your father? Then you'll have no difficulty understanding why I had no choice. Why I had to find a way to get to Britain as a visiting student myself. I want to hear it from you, Kazuma. As you wish, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. The freaking music! They like remade it so it fits with him as a prosecutor in Britain. I love the music in these games, especially when they fit the theme so well. Before let's see your opinion on everything in this freaking room. Lord Von Zeke's fine collection of hollowed chalices and bottles all neatly lined up. Yes, he's extremely particular about all that. He has a strict regimen for everything, from the storage of the casks to the bottling of their contents. Gosh, he must be having a really tough time of being his apprentice. Actually, no. Oh? He's so particular about it all, he refuses to let anybody else touch any of it. So it's been quite easy for me, in fact. Talk about weird. Dude's like, nah, no, like... was Lord Von Zeke's incredibly stylish desk. It's not to my style, though. No, I noticed you've been working at the little table on the floor, kneeling down Caesar style. I thought it was some kind of punishment served by Lord Von Zeke's when I first saw it. I find it the most comfortable way to work. I can't do it. After a couple of minutes of sitting with my legs folded under me, they start to go tingly. Don't exaggerate, Ryunosuke. We both know you can't even manage a minute. Dude, I love his you gotta be kidding me face. I love it so much. What the? It's a scale model of the crime scene. Oh, yes, I realized that. Does the prosecution office make a model of the scene for every single case? Apparently so. Sometimes it helps to visualize things better and notice things you hadn't spotted before. Actually, the miniature notice board is my work. Be honest, you enjoyed making that. Like, we're having like a nice talk with the prosecution, and in the back of my mind, I'm like, we're not supposed to be here. Do you know who the man in the portrait is? Why would I? What? But you're Lord Von Zeke's apprentice. Yes, apprentice, not friend. And during the time I was suffering from amnesia, didn't even notice that picture. Oh, really? I mean, it's not the smallest picture. I wouldn't have the first idea what the man decorates his office with. His dead brother? Like... bats? Ah! You disturbed the bats, did you? Fitting companions of Lord Von Zeke's, wouldn't you say? Actually, I've seen things flying around in Lord Strongheart's office too. Doves, I think. Perhaps you have to like birds to attain rank in the judiciary here. So you'd freaking start off with bats? Although bats aren't birds, of course. How about a sparrow for you? What's that supposed to mean? Oh, nothing. Sorry. Just thinking out loud. Okay, now, because he said that, I'm just thinking of this one. Wait, I don't know if I ever got that dialogue. There's like one song I would listen to. I need to make sure my music stuff isn't on. It's not. Okay, cool. Like the bird song. That's what it was called. The bird song. And I just think of like a lyric from that, and I'm like, yeah, okay, that's them, 100%. casks floor to ceiling, just like the last time we were here. Hollowed barrels, I suppose. They're arranged according to vintage, flavor, and region. Every week, they're all taken out and put back in order. What? Every week? Lord Von Zeeks can't seem to settle on the perfect way to arrange them, you see. Vintage, flavor, and region don't neatly coincide. And that's the trouble. Gosh, being his apprentice must be a real challenge. Actually, no. Oh? He considers the task too important to entrust to anybody else, so he does it entirely on his own. Just carrying the, what time of day does he just have time to like put the caskets in like whatever order he wish? So he's a barrel of laughs here and in court, then. Brother, like I need to, like, I don't know why, like, I feel the need to know this, like, what, it has to be on, like, the weekend or something, where he's like, yeah, let's just change up the barrels every week. My brother in Christ, you... Okay, well now I'm about to count, so... 9... What? I was like, I'm about to like count the freaking kegs and casts and whatnot, and then I'm like... See, there's probably more back there. I know I see like 3 here. So like 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. Okay, I know, no, I need to get out, wait, no, I need to examine the desk. Your pathetic little desk here. Never mind. Alright. Who ping? I just got ping. What the fudge? Huh? What was I doing? Oh yeah. I'm like, bro, my brain. Okay, your disappearance. It's skin on for you now, since what happened on the SS Bira. We were heading across the oceans from Japan to Great Britain, when a bizarre series of coincidences led to those tragic events. I thought I'd lost my best friend forever. Boyfriend. What? Who said that? I must have been unconscious for a long time. When I awoke, I was lying on the bed. It was a narrow little room. There's a posy of flowers by the pillow. It took me a little while to realize that I was in the cabin of a ship. I slipped out of the room and headed up onto the deck. Were you already suffering from amnesia at that point? Yes, I didn't know what had happened or where I was. There's just this voice in my head. You have something you have to do. Something no one else can know about. Go to Great Britain. Your task awaits you there. It was a calling I couldn't ignore. It compelled me relentlessly. Out on deck, I saw that I was on a huge steamship and we were docking a large port. It must have been Hong Kong. Yes, it must have been. Presumably just before they were due to carry your body off the ship. I had no idea of the situation, but I did have the feeling that this was in some way my last chance. So I concealed myself amongst disembarking passengers and went ashore. Then I disappeared into the crowded streets of that foreign port city, so I could plan my onward journey to Great Britain. Just under a year ago, with all my past memories lost to me, I was left behind in Hong Kong. Everything was foreign to me. The sights, the sounds, the smells. My head reeled. I was truly at lost. I realized now that I escaped as a dead man, with nothing but the clothes on my back. No money, of course. Oh, how terrifying for you. Luckily, though, I had 2 feathers in my cap. One being your knowledge of English, I suppose. That's right, and on the back of that, I was able to pick up some work as a deckhand on a cargo ship. Eventually, after calling at countless ports, I finally arrived at Dover. That must have been some 3 months ago now. Your formidable tenacity of purpose showing itself again. I mean, the man had lost his memory and had literally nothing to his name. But he still managed to make his way to London on the opposite side of the world. Of course, I had no idea why I moved heaven and earth to get here at that point. Dude had some determination. Like, I got nothing. Don't remember my name or anything, but good guy, I gotta get to Britain, wherever the frick that is. So, how did you end up becoming Lord Von Zieks' apprentice then? That can only be called an extraordinary stroke of luck, really. You see, I was stopped at the border because I had no papers. They took me straight to Scotland Yard. And by sheer coincidence, Lord Strongheart was there to attend a meeting. That's when the second feather in my cap came into play. Would that have been your knowledge of the law? Yes, exactly. Lord Strongheart was curious about an Easterner with intimate knowledge of British law. He took me back with him to the Supreme Court and assigned me to the prosecutor's office. And then 9 days ago, you finally got your memory back after the trial involving Drebber. He looks so freaking cool, bro. Holy frick. Yes, I did. Ever since I first met you at Yume, you talked about your dream. Mark my words, Ryunosuke. I'll be chosen as a visiting student and make my way to Great Britain someday. Did you know the entire time about what happened to your father here? 16 years ago. It's Genshin! When my father left on that exciting trip to Great Britain, I was just a boy. We took a photograph together on the day before his departure. It's my last memory of him. He has a little katana! He has a katana on his... Or like, I'm assuming it's like a toy katana or something, I don't know. On his side. There's Kuruma! What I remember most about my father is his unswerving sense of justice. Six years after he left, a gentleman called out to our family home. He told me that Genshin, my father, had been taken ill in England and passed away. It was Professor Mikotoba, your father, Susato-san. Oh my! Ever since then, the professor was very good to me. He even helped me to fund my university education at Yume. I'll be forever in his debt. But nevertheless, I just couldn't bring myself to believe what he told me. Then one day, a letter arrived at our house from Britain. There was no indication of the sender, so I opened it, assuming it was from an old acquaintance of my father. What I read in that letter changed my entire life. What did it say? It said that my father had been a mass murderer, and the writer cursed the Asogi name. Oh my god! Oh no! As a result of that letter, I found out what had been hidden from me all those years. Presumably, the letter was sent from a relative of one of the victims. If whoever had been a member of the judiciary, he could have been present at the close trial. The letter revealed that my father had been sentenced to death, executed for being a killer. I'm so sorry you had to find out that way. I imagine the British government did its very best to silence whoever sent that letter. But someone who knew the truth and couldn't bear the resentment was always going to be a problem. But still, it could have been written by anyone. Why would you believe such a thing? There was a newspaper cutting included with the letter. It was the first I ever heard of the professor and his terrible killing spree. Well, what did my father have to say about the letter? I couldn't bring myself to show it to him. What? Why not? Because he deliberately concealed the truth from me by telling me my father was taken by a fatal illness. That couldn't have been easy for him. He'd done it out of consideration for my feelings. Bro. This game's going to kill me. So instead, I showed the letter to Judge Jugoku, to the other visiting student. He faltered for the briefest of moments, but then he just laughed the letter off. In that moment, I saw it on his face. He was undeniably shocked, shaking momentarily, before recovering his poise. A year later, my bereaved mother succumbed to the strain of grief. She too passed away. That's when I made up my mind that one day, without fail, I would cross the seas to Britain and seek the truth for myself. The truth about my father, Genshin Isogi. And I wouldn't let anyone stand in my way. Oh, Kazuma-sama. I love this game so much. It is very much like dialogue heavy, but like I love like the lore bits and the story bits it has. I wish like the escapades or like the DLC stuff, like, cause some of the DLC stuff isn't canon or anything, like. Which I don't entirely get, but I mean, I guess because it's their DLC stuff, so. What we learned today in court turned things completely on their head. It was an impressive piece of lawyering, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Lord Von Zeeks isn't the Reaper, you know. I almost don't want to believe it myself, It turns out that Inspector Gregson himself, the victim, was... It's clear that the Inspector was behind the Reaper's activity all along. You mean you knew? The real question is, who's been giving orders to the Inspector? Yes, Beric von Zieks is the real Reaper. Now I know that 10 years ago, it was him who decided my father must be a mass murderer and sent him to his grave. No, he was merely seeing that justice was done as the law dictates. He's not to blame. Ultimately, it's people who condemned people. The law is just a tool that they used to do it. It wasn't even him going to prosecute. It was going to be freaking Lord Strongheart. If Lord Strongheart was still the prosecutor of that case, you'd be, like, after him with it. But no. When a man condemns another, he must take responsibility for his actions. Of course he must. But I know for certain that my father would never have taken another man's life. Kazuma. On the contrary, my father's life was taken by the Reaper. Do I need to show you something? I don't know. You want to see this? Kazuma, what do you make of this? There's only one place where defense lawyers and prosecutors should discuss evidence. The courtroom. So it seems you're still confused by the situation. That's what I make of it. I get the feeling my friend's always going to have the edge over me, isn't he? The what? The huh? Zuma, this is your armband. Actually, I think it's yours now. Sorry? You're the defense lawyer. You have a talent for it. I've always known that you would. And now, you've chosen to take that path in life. As your friend, I couldn't be happier for you. Or more proud. Kazuma. So you keep hold of that. Besides, I'm a prosecutor now. The armband would have no meaning for me. Well, if you're sure, thank you, my friend. I'm gonna cry. Okay, I guess... No, wait, Let's go see Mr. Vigil. Let's see how he's doing. Maybe I should have went to see him first before I went to see, Kazuma. Saints, sinners. This is the ward where Mr. Vigil was brought, apparently. To be frank, I'm a little worried about seeing him again. There he is! The lawyer. Hello again. Are you feeling better now, Mr. Vigil? Yes, thank you. Somewhat better. I'm so sorry to have caused you to... I mean, it was because of me. If I hadn't exposed your secret and forced you to remember things you obviously tried to forget. The prosecutor was here until a few moments ago, too. You just missed him. I was just talking with him! I should have just talked to you first, god dang it. Oh, Kazuma beat us to it. He said much the same as you. He was very apologetic. But the truth is, I brought all this upon myself. Please, don't think like that. Keeping it from Evie, my wife, all these years, I've carried such a sense of guilt. But that's not the worst of it. Over time, I've obviously came to deceive myself as well. I wonder why he's doing that. Oh, he has his ring! Has his wedding ring. You mean about your dismissal? Looking back now, I begin to think that perhaps Inspector Gregson didn't stumble across me by accident at all. I mean, he compensated me so generously for acting as his stand-in. He was clearly concerned for my well-being and doing what he could to help. So perhaps Gregson knew exactly what had become of Mr. Vigil all along then. I'm sure this is just desserts from 10 years of lies and deception, but... It wasn't me that helped the professor escape 10 years ago! It wasn't me! I swear it's true! I don't know where his accent's going. It's going somewhere. It's going somewhere, I don't know. It's freaking... I swear it wasn't true! Or it's true. Oh, Mr. Vigil. I'm sure you'd rather not dredge up even more from your past at this time, but if possible, could you tell us exactly what really happened? I need to get all of this off my chest. I want someone to tell me what I should have done. Okay. Inspector Gregson was obviously engaged in a special operation of some sort. He was investigating something that even Scotland Yard couldn't know about. Details of the Reaper's marks, yes. It was when he tried to carry out those investigations that I would take his identification and impersonate him. He'd pretend to be the inspector and carry out investigations on his behalf. Oh, no, never! The common street peddler couldn't possibly carry out a proper police investigation. All I would do is go to the specified location and make a little hoo-ha. Just something to leave an impression, so everyone there would think a detective called Gregson was there. So, that's what you were doing on... Oh my god. That yawn came out of nowhere, jeez. So that's what you were doing on the day prior to the incident? Yes, he asked me to make an appearance at the park for Lime Street for the Redhead League event. So as usual, I flashed the inspector's identification around and was very vocal about my presence. But, oh jeez, Iris jump scare. But then you were taken prisoner by those red-headed fraudsters. What the frick accent was that? Yes. So, you would always make a point of showing Gregson's identification and generally being loud. That's what the inspector asks me to do, yes. Well, that's one way of becoming a legendary detective, I suppose. Not a good one, though. And as you know, I suffered this bruising around my neck at their hands. But the following day, they kept their words and released me. Without returning the inspector's identification to you, however. We had arranged to meet in the Fresno Street room at 5 that day, so I could report back to the inspector. But at the agreed time, that's when I heard the gunshot. It was at midnight on 17th June 10 years ago. That was the time scheduled for the execution. But the professor's execution never actually took place, did it? Or rather, oh my god. Or rather, the execution itself must have been used to affect the plan of escape. I hardly dare to imagine what a chilling plan it was. Barclay was renowned for being the highest security prison in the country. Everything that went in or out of the place was searched multiple times. But there was not one notable exception. Or rather, one notable loophole. Something that was never questioned. I have a feeling I know what that loophole was now. the coffins into which the bodies of the executed convicts were placed, correct? Yes. Once the coroner had confirmed the death of a condemned convict, the body was taken in his coffin for immediate burial in the Lowgate Cemetery just behind the prison. The chief warder first had to sign the necessary papers, and after that, no member of the staff was permitted to touch the coffin containing the body again. When the executions took place, only the executioner and the coroner were permitted inside the chamber. I would wait in the adjacent room for word that the condemned convict was dead. On that occasion, once I had that confirmation, I went to the mortuary to find a lone coffin as usual. The procedure was that I would sign the paperwork, have him check the coffin, then nail it shut. But for some reason that day, the coffin was already nailed shut. No! I didn't think anything of it at the time. I assumed that my deputy must have checked the coffin and nailed it shut before I arrived. So, you mean the coffin contained... Yes, I can only imagine that Sogi, having escaped his execution somehow, was alive inside the coffin. The coffin was then taken out through the main gates, deposited in Lowgate Cemetery. Presumably, there wouldn't have been enough air inside to breathe for long. So in the early hours following the burial, somebody dug up the coffin again to set the Genshin free. But in the end, he was fatally shot in the graveyard anyway. What on earth really happened in Lowgate Cemetery that night, I wonder? I'm afraid I really don't know. All I can say with certainty are two things. Sogi couldn't possibly have escaped that way without help from somebody working in the prison. And that somebody was not me. Obviously, you knew the man then. The professor, I mean. Genshin Sogi. Yes, I remember him well, in fact. Would you mind telling us what you know? Well, having been condemned to death as he was, any contact I had with the man was short, obviously. After that trial, which was carried out behind closed doors, attended only by elite members of the judiciary, they called for his execution to be carried out at the earliest possible opportunity. The outcome of the trial was set from the beginning, wasn't it? It was a time of delicate diplomacy when Britain and Japan were in the process of signing an important treaty. That meant that this potentially destabilizing case had to be dealt with swiftly and discreetly. The man had less than a week in total. As I was the chief warder, I oversaw his short stay in the cells until his final hour. I remember being struck deeply by his noble character and incredible resilience. For a guy that's just like very nonchalant and like, you know, noble, like for a guy who was a mass murderer, he's still like, yep, okay, this is my fate, yeah. What do you mean exactly? He was the killer of many men, but he was always quiet and polite. He was a gentleman and a man of intellect. In fact, I couldn't bring myself to believe what he'd done, so I asked him one day. To those 5 members of the aristocracy whose lives were taken, Were you really responsible? I'm guilty of the unforgivable crime of ending another human's life. Yes. Following day, the closed trial took place, and the verdict was no surprise. Guilty. That night, when he was brought back to his cell, I saw something. Something unusual. Something unusual? What? The last will and testament of Genshin Asogi. As I said, it was on the night following his trial, after he'd been found guilty. I was doing the rounds of the cells, and when I looked into Sogi's, I noticed that he'd seemed to have a sheet of paper in his hand. His last will and testament then, presumably. As soon as he noticed me, he hurriedly shoved it behind his back. But why did you find that so unusual? Isn't it normal for a man to pen a will when he knows his death is nigh? Yes, that's true, but there were special conditions to Asogi's incarceration, you see. What sorts of conditions? Well, even though he was held in a cell designed for condemned inmates, he was allowed to keep his personal effects with him, with one exception. Really, he allowed his things. That is unusual, certainly. Of course, he'd been convicted of killing 5 members of the aristocracy, but at the same time, he was a guest in our country from the Empire of Japan. The powers that be were determined that his final days shouldn't be needlessly uncomfortable. And what was the exception you mentioned to the personal effects he was allowed? That's the point. He wasn't permitted to have writing materials. Huh. Yeah, I love how it was like, this man's a killer. Like, he used like a dog to kill like 5 people. Right? And it's like, yeah, let's have him keep his katana, because that's safe. Specifically, no pens or paper. So, he was prevented from leaving any written records of what had happened to him. Yes, that was the long and short of it. I have no idea where he obtained that paper. Any writing material would have been confiscated from him upon his incarceration. As I said, he hid the paper behind his back, and then he pleaded with me. What did you just hide behind your back? Please, please turn a blind eye. This is my lifeline. But you know it's against the rules. You're the only person who's seen. If you just agreed to keep quiet. Alright then, but what's on that paper? The last will and testament. This will is the only weapon I have left now. And not the katana that's like on your hip. How can a will be a weapon? So I decided to pretend I'd seen nothing, and I let him keep his will. But then later, it just seemed to vanish without trace. What? What do you mean it vanished? It would seem that isn't the end of the story of this mysterious will. I was the only person who saw Asogi's will, but somehow it disappeared. It was after Asogi's execution, which was actually an elaborate jailbreak. The warders gathered up Asogi's possessions that were in his cell. They were all to be sent back to his family home in Japan, you see. To poor Kazuma-sama. And you're saying that it wasn't anywhere to be found among his personal effects. The will, I mean. That's right, though I didn't search through them myself. But Governor Caden was livid. He was screaming, "He cannot have disappeared completely!" That doesn't quite make sense though, does it? In what way? Well, we understood that only Mr. Vigil was aware of the will's existence. In which case, how did the prison governor know to look for it? Oh yes, you're right! I really don't know how he knew, but it certainly seemed as though he knew of the will's existence from the outset. Only he didn't refer to it as a will. What he said was... the Asogi Papers. The Asogi Papers. I really can't tell you anything of the subsequent events. Because, well, of what happened. Your dismissal, and the way you blocked it all from your memory. I had forgotten all this until today. I don't suppose it's relevant to the case, though. Well, anyway, thank you very much for sharing it with us, Mr. Vigil. We're very grateful. I'm afraid there's really little more I can tell you. My wife Evie will be here shortly, so I do hope I don't appear rude, but... No, not at all. Thank you again. But what will become of you now? Well, impersonating a police officer is a criminal offense, of course. I imagine that once I'm fully recovered, I shall be arrested. Ah, man! I am so sorry. Don't be, please. This is all my own doing. I always knew that this day would come. Well, I wish you well. Goodbye, Mr. Vigil. Oh, what the? Before you go, there's just one thing. Oh, yes? What is it? The Asogi Papers. I'd be very grateful if you'd make no mention of the things I told you about them. Presumably for some good reason. It's my understanding that their very existence is a closely guarded secret. If it becomes known that I'd remembered, well, it could be rather troublesome, I think. I understand. Some sort of will that Genshin Isogi penned just before his death, which the man himself claimed was his last weapon. I wonder, perhaps it had something to do with his plan to escape. Does anyone who might know more about a document that Kazuma's father left behind? It would be Mr. Vigil's governor. Then we know precisely where we must go. Back to Barclay Prison. Oh, there he is. He's sitting down. Oh, new location's been added. Hey, man. Well, at least he seems to be on the mend. You know, his disguise as Mr. Gossip was really quite masterful, wasn't it? I can't remember anything about it except for the floppy lip. I imagine not even his wife would have recognized him. Perhaps, but didn't really have to take it quite so far. Yeah. Should we ask everything we need, Mr. Naruhodo? I don't think so. Let's go! Ah, wait, we don't. Okay, wait, hold on. Move. Wait. In some ways, this place seems to rather suit Lord Von Z. Oh, dude, did I say that out loud? No, it's just that, though. Hey, we got some questions for you. Oh, he's very threatening. Ouch. Back again, are you? Yes. Hello. I've heard all about your investigations. I've read the report just now. You found him, eh? Vigil. Yes, luckily. Well, and you? The laddie doesn't work here no more, so your case is not to do with Barclay. I would need like you to get the wrong idea about it. Of course, yes. Mr. Vigil stopped working here 10 years ago now, so... Yes, we've seen his dismissal notice, haven't we? He was given the chop. Aye, Kimmer, you can hear very well. So, how about we handcuff biscuits? We handcuff biscuits? Bro. Oh, they really are like little handcuffs. And as hard as irons, too. So, what brought you down here today? Well, there's something else we'd like to ask you about, actually. That's so. Like, we believe there might have been a document that disappeared from Genshin Asogi's cell. I think it's been called the Asogi Papers or something. We about to get thrown out. Did I no say Grexon's death is not to do with things that might have happened at Barclay? Leave the past in the past, laddie. Let's not futter about with irrelevant details. His expressions changed completely, and he started combing his hair for some freaking reason. We're clearly onto something here. Let me look around. You have a big... Because I didn't look at this before. You have a big bird. I'd never have expected to find a parrot in a prison. Must be the governor's pet. Given where we are, it's hard not to see the poor creature as a prisoner. Let me out! Didn't kill me! What the... As the bird learned to mimic the pensive cries of inmates in the cells. Oh, no, he was one of the 3 siblings, you see. He still calls out the names of his 2 brothers like that all the times. Right. Wait, what's his sibling's name? Let me out and didn't kill... What? Right. Aye, I hear ya, laddie. You want your dinner, eh? Didn't they do it? Yeah, frick. It's a very large cabinet full of papers, isn't it? It's labeled Inmate Register. Look, now the files are in alphabetical order. That's 50 years worth of records of Barclay's inmates. Whether or not they left alive or after serving their term. All the details about the crimes they committed are recorded in there, like an epitaph, you might say. A record of crimes and punishments. How dispiriting. And yet, this man seems to be enjoying tea and biscuits as he talks about it. He just crunched on like the biscuit again, but like it wasn't... You just take a chip out of it? An axe, a hunting rifle, and 4 pairs of handcuffs. That's a daunting collection. Ah, there's a story behind every one of those. You mean the rifle is the famous killer's murder weapon, and the axe is wielded by an infamous executioner? And the handcuffs were once used to immobilize the fierce four-legged beast when he was arrested. Was it the dog? I think you're in the realms of fantasy now, Mr. Naruhodo. Not those kinds of stories, Jimmy. The frick? I'm Jimmy? That axe was the one I used to chop down the cherry tree at my house. Mrs. Gaydon wasn't best pleased. And the cuffs on the left are the ones I caught my first burglar with back when I was a bobby. The stories were a little different to those you imagined, I think, weren't they? Yes, to my relief, and in some small way, my disappointment. I suppose these are all former governors of Barclay Prison, are they? Either that, or former inmates who the government had sent to the gallows. Oh dear, they all have such severe expressions. I really couldn't deny either possibility. Especially the one on the extreme right. His expression goes beyond severe into a whole new territory. That one's me. I'm terribly sorry, sir. Is it a prerequisite of the job, perhaps? Having a severe expression, I mean. Of course it's not! Although it is taken into consideration. A lot. This grandfather clock is. It's fitted with a terrifying blade that keeps dropping down. It's modeled on the guillotine, a French execution device. You might have heard of it. And yes, before you ask, it can chop. Heads off, you mean? Have us know, carrots and parsnips and so forth. Is that what you're doing? Like, that's what this man's doing when, like, no one's looking. He's making soup in his office. If you place a large carrot at the bottom there in the morn, by evening it'll have been cut clean in two. Well, the blade must have an almost indescribable edge on it then. Like, I can only imagine how tall this guy is. Like, because I feel like he doesn't even really fit on that chair right there. Anything else? Hello, deer. That deer's been staring at me for a while now. It has? The poor thing can't fit through the small hole in the wall, but it can't get its head back out again now either. It's giving me a woefully imploring look. It's not real, Mr. Naruhodo. It's stuffed. Oh, what? I mean, yes, of course it is. For a moment, I thought there was another assassin sneaking in via the ventilator. I don't like to say. I think perhaps you need to reread The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. Nah, I think Holmes would believe that. Look, the books may say otherwise, but you know, oh my god, no, I don't want to talk to the parrot. That freaking bird that I hate. Yeah, you want your food. What was that on about? Okay, so the books, yeah, you'd be freaking stupid to think that. But real life Sholmes, he's with you on that. Okay. Oh yeah, I was supposed to talk to you. 10-year-old legacy. That murderous botched execution, and the whole miserable escape. They were Barclay's darkest hour's eye. A shocking embarrassment. Because the convict had a collaborator on the prison staff, you mean? Aye, for shame. Coroner who confirmed the death of the man after his execution, Courtney Scythe, and my chief warder at the time, Vigil, who was in charge of the whole affair. But Mr. Vigil says he didn't know anything about it. The rascal would nay say otherwise, eh? More handcuffs? Oh, how could I say no? You can never have too much iron in your diet. When Mr. Vidge was handed his dismissal notice as a result of what had happened, he was so despairing, he jumped out of your office window, didn't he? I don't like to say, but that's just what Vigil's trying to get out of it. Do you not think he would have jumped from the shock of his true crimes being exposed, eh? I do. You wouldn't say otherwise though, would you? Of course, I can show no responsibility myself. I should never let him deceive me. Actually, there's barely anybody that kens what went on at the time now. Woodgrass had been murdered and Dr. Syke forbidden from having any visitors. Great. I wanted to talk with her because she's probably the only other person I can ask. My God. No visitors. Someone obviously doesn't want her giving anything away. Well, we're not going home empty-handed. Now when I dream of sending you packing with Knott's Kimmer. Here, take a handcuff or two. Oh, well, it would be rude to say no. We want to become an endemic. I suppose if there's anybody who might still ken about that happened back then, it'd be that last from the forensic division, Mariah Gorey. Mariah Gorey? Aye, Scythe's daughter. She didn't have no more, just the one. But the wee Barons followed her mam's footsteps. You didn't ever seen her without a scalpel in her hand. Mama, what is this? Where did she spring from? And did she just call the doctor Mama? Dr. Scythe's daughter, Mariah Gorey. We could do with a talk to her. Hang on. So, she's Dr. Scythe's daughter, but her surname is Gorey. Aye, there's some family history, I'm sure, but I didn't ken the ins and outs of it. She grew up watching her mom's work with the bodies folk who died in strange circumstances, and decided to do the same with her own life. I can understand it myself. Perhaps she was driven by a deep respect for her mother. Perhaps. Anywho, she was in charge of Gregson's autopsy, I believe. Right, and the coroner responsible for this incomplete report. Someone told me once that the wee lassie always loved her mom's stories about cutting up bodies. There was even a rumor that she used to listen to funeral marches as a lullaby. Oh my God! Well then perhaps her mother might have told her about the autopsy from the case 10 years ago. I'd say there's a fighting chance at least. After all, that was a life-changing case for all of us. We really need to speak to Miss Gorey herself about this, I think. Well, thank you very much. I'm not happy about any part of this. It took 10 years for Londoners to finally forget the whole professor business. Can you no give up on this, laddie? Stop asking pointless questions. I'm sorry. I don't like dredging up these painful memories for everyone. Can you just stay away, no? Leave me alone, then they come back here, eh? I need to ask you about the papers! How do you can know about that, laddie? There's no many folk here, even here in the prison, who've heard those papers. Well, I can't tell him Mr. Vigil told me. I'm afraid our sources must remain confidential, sir. We've been led to believe the papers were actually a last will and testament. Is that right? The professors, or rather, Genshin Isogi's. Aye, that's right. You're well informed, Jimmy. Oh, is that the end of the silent treatment? But then after the convict's execution, he mysteriously vanished from his cell, didn't it? Heavens, no! You're rather half-cocked there, I think. I think you didn't quite get your facts straight. It was there in the cell, exactly what it should have been. Oh, not what we heard elsewhere. Let me just have a wee old look around in here. I'm sure I can find it. Here you are. Oh my god. My alarm went off. What the fudge? Here you are. See? Give me those papers. The last will and testament of Genshin Isogi, written in a calligraphy brush. Of course, I can never read a word of those Japanese squiggles. By mind, it says he leaves all his worldly possessions to his son back in his homeland. Yes, that's correct. That's the gist of it. So these are the Isogi papers. Aye, of course they are! Papers written by Isogi, nay doubt to boot it. There's no mystery here, laddie. That's your lot. After all the storm ash of all that slice here of an execution, we sent the man's possessions back to his clan in Japan, and that was the end of it. I think we ought to make a record of this, Mr. Naruhodo, just in case. Apparently Mr. Sogi described it as the only weapon I have left. Give me those papers! One thing before you go on your way, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, yes? Those papers are now not to do with Gregson's death. I prefer if you didn't make no mention of them outside this office. Or rather, I wouldn't just prefer it. Consider it an order from the highest levels of our government. I understand. Alright. Frick you. Let me see these papers. I, Genshin Isogi, hereby request that upon my death, any and all material possessions and wealth belonging to me in London be delivered to my son, Kazuma Isogi, in the Empire of Japan. It is with deep sadness I accept my faith in this foreign land, and the knowledge that I will never see my homeland or my family again. I regret nothing about my chosen path. Alright, cool. I'm gonna show these to Kazuma. Hold on. Yo, bro, look what I found. Oh, come on. Okay, where do I go now? Hold on. Move. Did we ask? Oh yeah, wait, yeah. This came up in the trial, didn't it? As something a little dubious, I mean. The fact that no time of death was recorded on Inspector Gregson's autopsy report. Yes, there were some unexpected turns in the courtroom earlier. The suggestion you came up with certainly took everyone by surprise. The idea that the victim died the previous day at some other location is quite something. Well, considering when the pocket watch had stopped and the scorch marks on the candle, it's certainly a distinct possibility. The evidence in the scene both point to it. To be honest, it bothered me too, so I paid a visit to the autopsy room earlier. The coroner responsible wasn't there, but I got a name. It's Dr. Gory. If it wouldn't trouble you, Kazuma-sama, we'd very much like to speak with the coroner too. Of course, last thing I want is for anything to be brushed under the carpet. Scotland Yard's autopsy laboratory is behind Lowgate Cemetery. By Barclay Prison, you mean? Ah, you know it, do you? Prison where my father was incarcerated and robbed of his life. Kazuma-sama. Well, thank you. We'll pay a visit to the laboratory later today. Ryunosuke, I want to thank you. What for? For this. It's his old theme! Ah! It's ah! You safeguarded the soul of the Asogi clan. Well, it is a famous sword that's been in your family for generations. My only slight regret is that I never got the chance to draw it before I returned it to you. Kuruma is said to have been forged by a master swordsmith during the Sengoku Warning States period. I come from a long lineage of warriors, many of whom were expert swordsmen. Well then, you're a chip off the old block, I'd say. This blade, Kuruma, is a symbol of the Asogi clan's honor and might. Apparently, one of my father's apprentices even took the blade's name for a surname. Really? Kuruma? It does sound formidable, that's for sure. 16 years ago, when my father was visiting student here in London, he had this sword forever at his side. Which is why it means so much to me that I have it by my side again now, too. And that is all thanks to you. It was an honor. Now, I have preparations to make for tomorrow. Perhaps I said a little too much. Kazuma, you've changed. No, Ryunosuke, I haven't changed at all. It's you who's changed. I can completely understand your resentment of Lord Van Zieks given what happened. But the fact is, those events in this case are, well, unrelated. Is that what you want to say? How can you be so sure? What do you mean? Never mind. That man is the Reaper, and it's for that reason that the inspector was killed. I'm going to prove as much in court tomorrow, by whatever means necessary. I can't let you do that, Kazuma. I know you'll do what you have to do as a lawyer, but I'm sure I don't need to tell you that I won't be taking any prisoners in the courtroom. I would expect nothing less. Until tomorrow, then, in the Old Bailey. Ah, finally! Oh my god, she dolled up the place! This place really is creepy, isn't it? It's a lot more creepier now. Like, I mean, the dolls give it a much brighter, nicer touch. It's be really just like, oh yeah, here's the coroner's office. Why is there just dolls everywhere? Oh, don't mind. Well, being a dead room, it's probably full of the spirits of the dissected. But actually, there's a rather pleasing scent of roses in the air. Well, being a dead room, the coroner probably needs a bold scent like that to mask the odor of death. Iris, do you think we could change the subject? What was that? Yo, we about to get freaking, oh, Dr. Gory. What? That noise before. I was sharpening my tools. I'd be dead meat if I didn't keep a perfectly keen edge on them. Right. When following the collage fibers in the dermis, an expertly sharpened scalpel cuts like cheese. Would you like a demonstration? Oh, yes, please. I'd love to see. Then, I think you'll do nicely. No, I wouldn't do nicely at all. I mean, maybe some other time. Was that Tut? Well, we came here to ask questions, so... Ma'am, can you please put the knives down? Oh, what the fudge? I need to charge my phone. Oh, jeez. I think, like, once we're done with the investigation here, once we're done investigating, I'll end the stream here. Not here, but, you know, when it happens. Let's just talk. We have actually met before. I'm a lawyer, if you remember. You're not dead yet. What? So Mama said I wasn't to cut you open. She's so strict about things like that. Well, good. Dr. Side has some scruples at least. Oh dear. It looks like she's not interested in talking to us. For the time being anyway. For the time being, you mean? Until we die. Hope that's a way off. Sorry, but I wasn't planning on dying anytime soon. Surely there's some less drastic way of making her listen. Oh well, I guess I do have to present something. Dr. Gory, we actually came here to ask you about this. That is so scary. He's what? He was very good. Good? Sorry? His skin didn't snag my blade once. And very little mess. His joints dislocated easily, and his muscles tissue was a pleasure to work with. We can skip those details. But there is one thing about the report that's caught my attention. You don't seem to have recorded a time of death. That's not my fault. Oh, that made me jump. Then please, tell us what happened. So why doesn't this autopsy report include the victim's time of death then? It's really the most crucial detail. I was told not to write it. What? By whom? Mayor Strongheart, the Lord Chief Justice. He came here. Lord Strongheart came... He said that from the witness statements about the gunshot and the other evidence, it was obvious. The man clearly died at 5 p.m. on 1st November when the gunshot was heard. But that's not the time of death you wrote on the report. You didn't write anything. Was there some reason you didn't include it? Dr. Gory, if you're hiding something under Lord Strongheart's instructions, then sooner or later, you're going to go the same way as your mother. Oh, jeez. Give it here, then. Was she scribbling so furiously? There. You've written... What? What she's written? Tell us. Indeterminate. But... An accurate estimation of the time... Oh, shut up! Estimation of the time of death is not possible. Oh, what the fudge? Ping me. This is all about. What do you mean by that? Why was the time of death indeterminate? When the specimen was brought in, it was still fresh, so the time of death could easily have coincided with when the gunshot was heard. But there was one small discrepancy. What discrepancy? There was some fried fish in the pocket of the specimen's overcoat. And that fish had started to rot. What? If the victim liked fried fish, he presumably liked to eat it before it went off. Well, yes. What are you really trying to say? It's possible that someone tried to manipulate the apparent time of death. The fish is what's going to help us break this case open. Manipulate the... Is that even possible to do? Theoretically, if you were to chill the body in ice, you could delay the onset of putrefaction. And if the overcoat was in the body at the time, then only the fish would have started to rot. With today's science, it's not yet possible to determine if the body was chilled or not. But today's science is advanced enough to let you freeze a corpse, it seems. But surely, to chill a corpse like that would require an enormous electrical refrigerator. I don't imagine any households in London are equipped with such a device. No, definitely not, but maybe in a factory, or some other special places. I don't recall seeing any factories or such like on Fresno Street, though. I wonder if the inspector's body had been chilled somehow. What might the actual time of death have been? I couldn't say for sure. But the most, it might have been a day earlier. No! In other words, it would corroborate your previous deduction, Mr. Naruhodo. That Inspector Grexy was killed the day before his body was discovered, at a different location. Did you inform Lord Strongheart of this possibility? He simply said that there was no electrical refrigerators of that size in the vicinity. Oh yes, one other thing. It's something the governor of Barclay Prison told us. He said that your mother, Dr. Scythe, was responsible for confirming the death of the professor after his execution. The professor? Apparently, you always enjoyed listening to your mother's stories about her work, so we were wondering if you might know something about what happened 10 years ago. That's not all Mama did. Sorry? My mama carried out the autopsy of Clinton von Zeeks as well. She has like a what? Really? The brother of Lord von Zeeks, the professor's final victim. The idea of carrying out an autopsy on a member of the aristocracy was completely unthinkable back then. But the detective in charge of the investigation insisted, and it was miraculously authorized. That detective being Inspector Gregson, of course. Quite an accomplished for one man. That autopsy report... word. That autopsy provided the vital clue needed to arrest the killer. And Mama was there for that historic event. What does all this mean? You know, that amazing autopsy happened right here in this very room. The professor and Clint von Zeeks. They both spent their final moments before their burial on that dissection table there. So this lab, Mama's lab, was instrumental in some of the country's most important events. She really is proud of her mother. I wonder if you'd tell us more about exactly what happened back then, Dr. Gory. And she is much happy to oblige. The professor's execution was Mama's first big case. She had to be in attendance at Barclay Prison's execution chamber and sign the certificate to confirm the convict's death. Mama is the best coroner in the world, you know. I was so proud of her. But the execution didn't actually take place. No, and worse still, Mama actually helped with the jailbreak. I didn't want to know. Oh dear, you found out recently, you mean? I believed in her, and Mama, but now I wonder if I'm starting down the same path as her. You mean because you admit to the time of death on this autopsy report? That's because Lord Strongheart forbade you from including it. Just like Mama, I'm sure she was coerced by somebody too. Yes, that's my feeling as well. There's no doubt that there was powerful forces at play 10 years ago. The execution couldn't have been staged without lots of people at the prison knowing about it. Obviously, the prison governor must have been in on it as well. The big man with the little handcuffs? According to what he told us, he was tricked by the chief warder. He says he knew nothing about it. Of course he said that. I'd say the same thing. Just who was behind that jailbreak all those years ago? You mentioned the autopsy of Clint von Zeeks. It was a time when carrying out autopsy of murder victims was very unusual. It's still not a practice that's observed in our country, even now. It turned out that he was the professor's final victim, and when the autopsy was performed, Mama was present, although only as the secondary assistant. The person leading the procedure was called Dr. John H. Wilson. That's right, my daddy. And there was one other person present, the primary assistant. He was a visiting student from the Far East. Wait, a visiting student? It must have been my father, Yujin Mikotoba. I had no idea Professor Mikotoba had been involved in something so important. But the outcome of that historic autopsy was the discovery of a vital piece of evidence that led to the capture of the professor. So that's how they came to identify Genshin Sogi as the infamous mass murderer. Do you happen to know anything about that piece of evidence? Can you tell us any more? Would you like to see the records for yourself? What would that be all right? What's the point of keeping records if people can't look at them? They're filed under V at the back of those cupboards with the other records from last decade. Thank you. Let's see. Von Zeeks. That's strange. What, Mr. Naruhodo? They aren't here. There's nothing under Von Zeeks. There must be! Perhaps somebody took them away. No one's allowed to take documents related to the professor case out of this room. That's right. They're gone! Well, when was the last time somebody looked at them? Do you remember? It was... Oh yes, I remember now. It was 2 years ago. A consulting detective came one day, saying that he'd like to see the records. Shams! No, you don't mean... Herlock Sholmes was his name. Deep down, I knew that was coming. Do you think he stole the records? Oh no, surely not. That can't be right. Can it? Iris? Runo? I hope you don't mind, but... What is it, Iris? I've just remembered something very important I have to do. I'm going to have to leave you now. Oh, this is very sudden, Iris. Well, we'll come with you then. Oh, no, there's no need. You and Runo can take your time here. Bye for now then. Good luck. Wait a minute, little girl. Me? I remember now. You've been here before, haven't you? Have you, Iris? Yes, 2 years ago, when that detective came. You were with him, weren't you? You were a living specimen then, too. That's the way it usually works, yes. Was I really don't remember. Anyway, sorry, but I must dash. Wait, Iris. I'll brew a pot for you when you get home. What's the matter with her? She's behaving really strangely all of a sudden. Well, in that case, we won't keep you any longer either. It's been quite a while since I had any visitors. It was really fun. But next time you come, I'd prefer if you were ready for dissection. I can't make any promises. Sorry. It's a bit strange that the records of Clint Von Zeek's autopsy disappeared. I think I've asked all we came to ask now. Let's have a close look at this. Then again, let's not. At least not while she's unarmed. We haven't checked here in a bit. Let's do it. There's a box with a frick. The police are still busily investigating in here then. But Gina's nowhere to be seen. Where is she? Yes, it has been blissfully quiet, hasn't it? Perhaps she's out to investigating on her own, practicing what her boss taught her. Well, I expect she'll be back before too long. Shall we wait? Actually, there's something different about this room since last time we were here, isn't there? We could always use the time to investigate more thoroughly. This little trunk wasn't here before, was it? Oh, it appears to be made of metal. It must be very heavy. I wonder to whom it belongs. There's some initials on the outside. Look. TG. Let's ask one of the policemen if they know how it came to be here. Oi, what you think you're doing? That's my trunk, that is. Hands off. Gina. Where are you hiding? I don't know. You leave something on the table for a few seconds, and every Tom, Dick, and Harry's got its greedy eyes on it. Just a wild guess, Gina, but... What? Spit it out, Dodo. Is it fair to say that you've only owned that trunk since this morning's trial? What are you trying to say? Come on, this trunk goes with me everywhere. Always ask, where you been the last year? Try not to incur your wrath, mainly. You should hear them talking at the yard now. They should be ashamed of themselves. They're saying I was the boss who killed all them burglars. You mean the whole Reaper thing? Yeah. Apparently, the boss was investigating stuff that no one else at the yard knew nothing about. Stuff to do with all them criminals what got scot-free. Yes, the ones prosecuted by Lord Von Zeeks who used bribery and corruption to evade conviction. Well then, obviously, it was that bloomin' Reaper giving the orders, wasn't it? But why would people be suspecting Inspector Gregson of being involved in the killings? There was a notebook in his office. Oh no, this doesn't sound good. It had details about all the crimes that have been pegged as the Reaper's work. What? No, did you see it, Gina? Did you see that notebook? They wouldn't Fleming let me, because I'm just an apprentice apparently. But it was me who found it, and he was my boss. That's right. I was pretty miffed about it, so I sneaked a peek at what it said anyway. Oh, that's our Gina. So, you managed to see what was written in Gregson's secret notebook anyway, did you? The way I see it, it's my right to read what he wrote. And what had he written, Gina? Dates, times, places, names, and a long list of them. All details about the burglars supposed to have been done in by the Reaper. But there could be an explanation for that. Perhaps there's a record of the inspector's investigations into the Reaper's activities. Exactly, that's what I said! That's the first thing you'd think, right? As it happens, it was full of names I recognized anyway. Well, the Reaper's targets were almost exclusively known leaders of London's criminal underworld. Well, yeah, but there was one name that right at the end that was a bit odd. At the end of the list, you mean? I'm pretty sure the date against it was 31st October. Oh, the day before the inspector was found dead. So, what was the odd name? It wasn't like the names I've ever seen before. It was something like, Nah, it's no good. I can't remember it. I don't think it was an English name, put it that way. Oh dear, what a pity. There was something else too. I don't know if it matters, but the same name kept coming up over and over. Shin, it was. Don't suppose it means anything, but... Did you say Shin? What? It does mean something! Lord Von Zeeks knew the name too. He mentioned her as well. The woman who actually did the deeds. And now we find out her name appeared in Gruxon's secret notebook. We haven't seen you for a while, have we, Gina? Well, of course not. I've been busy, ain't I? Investigating and that. The light at the other trying to trace the boss's movements the day before it happened. The day before... That would be the undercover investigation to the Red-Headed League then. Only the boss didn't go, did he? You found some code what was pretending to be him, didn't you, though? Yes, it was Mr. Vigil actually went to the park on Lime Street that day, posing as Gregson. Well, anyway, you ain't the only one turning stuff up. I've got my own ways of getting results. When me and my partner are here together, there's nothing we can't track down. Oh, little Toby! He's such a faithful friend. So, have you tracked anything down then? What you think, eh? Of course we have. Can't tell you though. Police is business, isn't it? Anyway, the point is, we lot ever need any help? You know who to turn to, right? Me and the old Elound here. Right. Because he looks so, oh so heckish, honest. Gina, about your heckhound there. Chief Inspector Toby, you mean? He's the pride of the force, he is. In Japanese, police dog means something quite different, and not altogether nice to those involved in crime. But here in Britain, it's a wonderful compliment, it seems. For a canine, at least. It should be. After all, in the great exhibition case the other day, it was Toby here who managed to locate Drebber's workshop. Maybe it's time for another demonstration of what this super dog can do, eh? Do we have something the Chief Inspector could catch the scent of, I wonder? You didn't get the headpiece?
Take that!
Well, Chief Inspector Toby, if you wouldn't mind having a sniff of this. He might be a little too keen, don't you think? Oh! The Chief Inspector made short work of Gina there. Look where he's gone to. Oh my, that trunk clearly still has a very strong scent of Inspector Gregson. In other words, it must belong to him. Oh, alright, it's a fair cops, I suppose. And you nearly got away with it too. You always talk so proudly of Chief Inspector Toby's nose and what it can achieve. Did it not cross your mind that you might identify something that was right next to us? Yeah, that was a bit of a bloomer, wasn't it? That's enough of it now then, Gina. I think it's time you told us the truth about that trunk. It won't like that. It just won't. What were you talking about? I know what's going through your head of yours, but that ain't what happened. Alright then, what did happen? Well, like I said before, we were trying to trace the boss's movements. So I let Toby here have a whiff of the boss's overcoat. And as soon as I done that, he went off like a shot. Straight to that sandwich. To a sandwich? Not a bag of chips. Mr. Naruhodo, I believe Gina means the witness. Oh, Beppo. Oh, I forgot about that sandwich. Yeah, he had it in between them wooden boards of his. The boss's trunk. You mean when they heard the sound like a gunshot that all piled in here? Exactly. He nabbed it from the scene. Goodness. Ah, Beppo, why? Me and the Chief Inspector gave that sandwich a good grilling, and you know what he said? I thought it might fetch a good price, and the chap wouldn't need it anymore, so... But that's all I did. Nothing more, nothing less. Would you adamant eat the cheek of it, eh? Stealing the dead boss's stuff to flog. So Miss Venus wasn't the only one meddled with the scene of the crime then. How could they? So anyway, that's how it happened. And it's a pretty decent trunk, so I figured I might as well make use of it. Is there so much wrong with it that day? Well, maybe you and Mr. Sandwich should try to find the answer to that question together. I think perhaps that trunk should be turned over to the police, don't you? What's he on about? I am the police. Gina, if you wouldn't mind, could we maybe examine it? Yeah, alright then. Do what you want with it. Thank you. We shall make a detailed record of our examination of the evidence. Oh no. What's the matter with Toby? Why is he acting so aggressively towards me all of a sudden? Mr. Naruhodo, be careful! It must be the trunk! Oh my god! Toby! Oi! What you doing? You're gonna lick his face off! Mr. Naruhodo! Mr. Naruhodo! Gino, quickly! Hail a carriage! Holy frick! Yo, we got attacked by a dog. What the heck? Oh, Mr. Naruhodo, are you alright? Miss Susato. Ah, conscious again at last. A blessed relief, my dear fellow. After all, to drop dead after a moderate licking by a small terrier. Most unseemly. What is or isn't seemly is irrelevant here, Mr. Sholmes. I'm so glad there's no lasting damage. How are you feeling? I'm fine, thank you. Did you bring me back here? What's this on my head? A bandage? Sadly, we had no ice, so that's the compress of sugar water. Sugar water? Don't worry, Mr. Naruhodo. It's a first aid treatment that my father taught me. Oh, thank you. So, let's just take tea when you're feeling up to it. But of course, no sugar in the patient's cup. The bump in my head is throbbing sweetly enough, don't worry. Whenever you feel ready, then. He's just standing there, menacingly. Okay, first, we are going to Fresno Street. And talk to Gina. Gina, I'm really sorry. It's death, isn't it? You asked me a year ago, the cops were going for all I cared. We gotta have the police, ain't we? To catch the bludgers. So us divers can go about their business in peace. Wait, sorry? I don't think I have heard that properly. He said he was going to teach me everything I need to know to be a detective. But all he got around to show me is where the best flamin' fish and chip shops are. Actually, that reminds me. Gregson said he was supposed to be going to Paris in the near future, didn't he? Is something wrong? Oh, no. I'm sure I'm reading too much into things. It's just that the timing seems very coincidental. You know, the boss was acting a bit strange recently. Like he was always in a rush. Okay. Alright, move. Back to the consultancy. I want to talk to Sholmes real quick. He's just standing there menacingly. Thank you for your concern, Mr. Sholmes. My dear fellow, think nothing of it. I must say I was quite startled when I heard that you'd been attacked by a dog. For a moment, I feared that an infamous murder of so many had come back from the dead. You mean, the professor? Fortunately, I see your prized throat is unscathed. That stiff, turned-up collar of yours obviously affords some welcome protection. Was I that close to death? All I really remember is the dog licking my face over and over and over again. Well, if you wish to avoid such troubles in future, a little mustard spread on the cheeks should do the trick. I should think that would be balance the sweetness of your bandage rather splendidly. Okay, let's go downstairs for some tea! Yay!
Mit dem Schwarzbiergebot brodelt wie ein Feuerberg, den Schlund es mir verbrannt, ach Hopfen deine Wut. Herr mit dem Knacker ich befahl, hat wie ein Diamant den Zahn entzwei es brach, o über deine Wut. Herr dem seid holdlich gelobt, und auf den ersten Streich
Oh my goodness.